So I was awoken about 5:30 this morning. It's actually probably closer to 5 a.m. It was still dark, to a mighty crash. And one of the local fishermen was they were headed out fishing in the wee hours of the morning. And I'm just anchored here right outside of Loose Creek. And I do have an anchor light. And he saw my anchor light, but he didn't see the dinghy trailing off the stern and ran right over it. The dinghy's pretty much totaled. No sense in trying to repair it. So now we move on to the next question, is how to replace it. And this is actually history repeating itself, except last time I was in the dinghy. So at least this time I was not in the dinghy. The last time it happened was, I think it was in 2008, so it was 10 years ago, down in St. Thomas. A speedboater ran me over, and I'm lucky to be alive, but then I went back to Maine the following summer, and I built this dinghy here. So this dinghy's now lasted 10 years, and it was still going strong. So anyway, and I had the outboard on, so I lost the top to the outboard, and the outboard went in the water, but it should be able to just dry it out, clean out the carburetor. Usually if you just dry it out, clean the carburetor, it'll be functional again. And then gotta find another top for it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about this dinghy. I've already built 2 of them now, and I really don't, without access to a workshop, I really don't feel like building another one. One option is to get the kit, the nutshell Pram kit, and build another one while I'm hauled out. Or possibly just go to a hard bottom inflatable, which wouldn't be nearly as classy as this dinghy, and they don't row as well. But Annapolis Inflatables is just right down the river here, and I'd have to buy a bigger outboard, but then I'd have a planing dinghy. That is the dinghy of choice among most blue water cruisers. Not nearly as classy as this one, but so anyway, those are options I'm thinking about. Luckily, in the meantime, I do have my little rubber ducky here, which can serve in a pinch. I used to use this. This used to be my main dinghy. You can't put an outboard on it, though. It doesn't row with a dam. It's strictly a backup dinghy. But at least I got something to get ashore. Well, since the dinghy is a total loss, I'll strip off anything of value. Here I'm removing the bronze oarlocks. Those could be used again. And I will also remove the mahogany seats. I'm not planning to build another dinghy, so they won't be of any use that way, but if I get access to a table saw sometime, I can rip them up and turn them into lumber. I can always use mahogany, so we'll recycle whatever we can here. So I got on the internet and started surfing around, and just happened to stumble on an 8-foot Fatty Knees dinghy, which a guy in Chestertown, Maryland had for sale. And so I contacted him, and we settled on $3,000 pending my inspection. And he also insists on cash here. He's averse to PayPal. So presently we're driving back from the bank. I just paid him for the dinghy. And now we're coming down on Tucker Street to the boat ramp to Weems Creek, where Ruth Avery is anchored.
Yeah, jeez.
The Fatty Knees was designed by Lyle Hess, who also designed the Bristol Channel Cutters. And these dinghies are very popular with owners of Bristol Channel Cutters. It's a fiberglass dinghy. However, it looks like a traditional lapstrake rowing boat. And as we'll see in a minute here, and they're quite very well built and quite classy little dinghies. Well, the little 2-horse Honda came with the new dinghy. So far, I've not been able to get it to start. And I took the carburetor apart and cleaned it. But no luck so far. It's very damp weather, so maybe we get some drier weather. We're supposed to get drier weather tomorrow. We get some drier weather, things dry out, and maybe I can clean the spark a bit, and we'll give it another try. But right now, this is a dead motor. On the other hand, the drowned Tohatsu, the other day I took the thing apart and let out the fuel lines, cleaned the carburetor, took the spark plug out, put a little oil in there. There didn't seem to be any water in the cylinder, which is good. But generally motors don't like to be drowned. But at any rate, I got that going again and just took a little trip around the harbor in the dinghy. And so that seems to be, that seems to have come back to life. But the top, I don't have a top for it. So I looked on eBay, and those tops are, those hood covers, the cowls are about $200. And but right now, if I can't get that Honda to start, it's looking like I'm going to buy another cover for the Tohatsu and use that, and then maybe sell the Honda for whatever I can get. But at least at this point, I have a hard shell dinghy again, and I got a working outboard. So we're making progress here. All right, well, Fatty Knees dinghy passes a major test here, which is whether I can actually get it on the foredeck. And I looked at the dimensions. It was exactly 8 feet, and I calculated it should fit. But of course, you know, you never know until you actually try. And indeed, it comes right down on those chocks, and we go forward here, and it fits. The bow just goes right by the windlass, so we can just lash this thing down. It'll be nice and snug. So that's good. So because it's obviously critical for going offshore that you have a way of storing your dinghy on deck. It's a little bit higher off the deck than the nutshell, so the staysail is gonna have to go over it when I tack, and I'll have to watch when it's in light airs when the sail slats, because it wears the foot of the sail when it keeps chafing against the dinghy. But I had that problem with the nutshell as well. And so far so good. Ahoy everybody. Well, it's about 7:30 in the evening, and I'm anchored in Cool Springs Cove. Which is just opposite the other side where the guy ran over my dinghy last Saturday morning. Anyway, he just came by this evening and picked up the remains of the dinghy. So that was good. The cheapest price I got to dispose of that dinghy properly was $275, and a lot of them wanted $500. So it was nice of him to come by and pick the thing up and take care of disposing of it. So I say goodbye to the nutshell pram number 2, and of course that hurts a bit because I spent all summer building it, and it's a labor of love, and it was a little boat that I loved, and but now it's no more. It's just memories. And but I really like the fatty knees. I'm getting to like that boat quite a bit. It's got more freeboard and it seems to be more stable. However, it's a bit heavier, so we're gonna have to see how that works out. Getting that up and down, getting that up on the foredeck and lashing it down for offshore. But we'll figure it out. We keep solving problems here. Oh, as far as compensation, this guy's insurance company did call me at least and take my statement, so maybe I'll get something. As you can probably guess, I've gotten pretty cynical. So, but anyhow, pretty soon we're gonna go haul this baby out. We got a whole ton of work to do to get her ready for another season, and we ain't quitting here, that's for sure. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye, everyone.